Hey friends, it's UrsulasRevenge. It is the last Friday of the month, which means we have a brand new blog post on Star Stable's website. This blog post is titled Winter Festival, Magic Horses, and Marchenghast. And because of the last one, you know I had to talk about it. This is a decently long article, so let's break it down bit by bit, starting with Winter Festival. So most of the time I will read these fully to you, except this one is very narrative focused, which makes sense because it is written by narrative designer Ella and game designer Daniel Q. Ultimately, the key takeaway that I got from this article is that there will be a narrative change for the Winter Village. So you may have remembered from years past, I want to say it was 2023, there was a whole new narrative revolving around winter magic and goblins. There was basically these mischievous goblin version of the Caprins that were causing problems. They were stealing winter wishes. Were they the ones who took away all the winter magic? I also think that had to do with either a Caprin or a gnome that busted the crystal. I can't remember, but either way, there was a lot of controversy around that quest line and the introduction of goblins. I think this stems mostly from the portrayal of goblins in Harry Potter, because they were very much an anti-Semitic allegory. I can't say that I saw that same connection within Star Stable's storyline, but nonetheless, the community was very upset by it, understandably. So fast forward to last year, there was no additional storyline. It kind of went back to the original quest lines of 2022 and beyond, where you just go to the Winter Village, you talk to the Caprins, you do some different races, you collect at that point, I don't think it was Winter Wishes, but the snowflake mechanic did stay from the Winter Wish storyline. It just instead contributed to the Trailblazer track instead of its own reward system in the Winter Village. They just cut out the entire storyline about the goblins. This year, it seems like we are going to be getting a new storyline revolving around gnomes, which the gnomes are the little saddlebag pets that you can get in the Winter Village. There's a bunch of different varieties. Some of them are related to some of the different magical horses, like Lipkuchen has one. Sobble, I think, was the original one that came out with the blue hat. And there's I think Eric may have had one with the red hat. Either way, here's a picture of them for reference. These are also established mischievous creatures, though it looks like they will be playing a bigger role in the winter storyline this time around. Something I want to specifically point out that was said by the game designer: the Winter Festival was incredibly fun to work on, and as I said before, we reframed it around gnomes. Making things about these funny creatures wasn't easy all the time, and partly it's because of the amount of content Winter already had. A lot of what we had relied on roleplay entirely, and as fun as that is, it's not really giving you, the players, more things to do. We wanted to do precisely that, give you plenty to do and give you a reason to do so year after year. Right after the narrative designer adds, these bearded menaces have invaded the Winter Village and it is a total gnomageddon. They're bouncing off the walls, causing chaos, and the Caprins can't get anything done. It's now up to you to help relieve the Caprins of this gnomeful disaster. In what way, you ask? How about, and they kind of go back and forth, literally chasing gnomes around, escaped horses too, guessing what they're trying to say, pleasing the frightening decorator, which we don't really have a whole lot of information on who the decorator is, but it does look like we are going to be getting a task board like we have for the Summer Days event, and Camp West. Was it at Camp Western? I can't remember. Can't remember which other event had the board like we had at Summer Days. I feel like I wanted one at Camp Western, but it wasn't the same. I don't remember if there was one at the Equestrian Festival. Either way, it does seem like we are going to be getting a tour board very similar to how they did Summer Days. This way we'll be able to track what activities we still have to do, and maybe each week as new activities are added, we'll fill out some sort of, not like a reputation bar, but there was a progress bar that we had with Ken and Bruce that ultimately, if you remember, ended up with us being rewarded the blue crab pet. Now, I don't want to speculate too hard, but in the picture they have of the tour board, there is a little emo gnome pet. Now, I really only have a picture to go off of and what we've experienced with the Summer Days tour board. So nothing is confirmed or set in stone, but if I did have to speculate, I would think that we might possibly be getting a gnome pet as a reward for keeping up with cleaning up after the gnomes. And that's pretty much the end of that section. We will find out more on December 10th. Or honestly, probably we'll find out a little bit more with the next up in Jorvik. That should come out sometime next week between Thursday and Monday. Moving on to the second section of the blog post. This section is called Winter Magic Horses and is written by Seuss, the senior 3D artist. And this one I will also paraphrase. It's not that long though. Ultimately, they talk about the inspiration for the new winter magic horses coming out this year. We have already seen spoilers about their names. I'm not sure if we've seen descriptions of them yet. We know which model they will be on, and we have seen outfit spoilers that suggest themes that match these horse names. And this article does confirm their actual themes. So they go on to explain their inspiration for these magical horses being winter mornings and winter nights. They shared a photo that explained this inspiration and said, "Every morning I would walk my little dog Dobby across the big open field on my way to work. There was one morning in particular I'll never forget. Fresh snow had fallen overnight and the rising sun glowed huge and golden over the glittering white landscape. It somehow felt both freezing and warm at the same time. In the evenings, I would walk Dobby back through the same field, this time bathed in moonlight. The path was pitch black except for the soft glow in the snow reflecting the moon, creating this calm, peaceful silence. By the time I got home, the hair peeking out from under my beanie would be frosted from the cold." Those feelings inspired the original concept, but then when paired up with Lotta, she said the designs reminded her of the ancient gods Sol and Hati who chased the sun and moon around the sky. And the final note on this is that they experimented with a special shader to make these horses shimmer with celestial light as if they truly belong to another realm. So that is the theme for this winter's magic horses. Again, we have seen outfits that kind of also suggest this theme that will probably go along with these horses. But think very celestial sun and moon sort of vibes. And moving on to the final part of this blog post, we're marching along on Marchenghasts, written by Stacy, the game director. Now this one, you know me, I have to read in its entirety, so let's get to it. Stacy here to report in on the development of our new area in the game, Marchenghast. Readers were so excited about the last blog post that I couldn't wait to write up a little bit more. So while it's still too early to officially lower the drawbridge, I will do my best to share some fun insights without too many spoilers. Some notes: the following screenshots are development photos I stole from our project channel. This means that the images show work in progress, not necessarily intended for the players, without full atmosphere and decoration. Nothing is final yet, these things can and will change. I will post the pictures as we go along as well so you can see where they fit in. And then of course at the end I will give you my whole breakdown. The heart of Marchenghast is the story. We'll be adventuring into an area long lost to the majority of Jorvik, trapped eternally in the 19th century. But why? What happened here? And who are the mysterious residents of the castle and forest? Why is Golden Hill stuck in eternal autumn? Only those most connected to the magic of Jorvik will be able to pierce the veil and uncover the secrets that lie within. Are you that girl? If you have access to Golden Hill Valley, yes you are. While I shared mainly concept art in the last blog post, now I'll take the opportunity to show you some of the work that's been done in-game. The castle and forest layouts are generally in place, and our artists have been hard at work finalizing all of the elements, such as walls and turrets. They are now working on set dressing, which involves adding smaller individual components such as bushes, fountains, props, and more that fill out the space and visually provide context to an area. There's still much to be done, and the area comes alive even more every day. One common question we received was if there would be a home stable at this location, and the answer is yes. The castle will serve as a proper town hub, offering all the expected facilities. The forest will also have a hub, although on a smaller scale. Another important aspect of an area such as Marchenghast is the audio. The area is intended to evoke very specific feelings, so our audio team worked on cooking up something special. They built their own instrument with unconventional items to experiment with new sounds. They also spent a lot of time exploring what the soundtrack of the area should be, especially to separate the castle and the forest. I asked our audio director Axel if we could have a sample of what you'll hear. Remember, these videos showcase works in progress, not finished content. I think I need to wrap things up before I go overboard with spoilers. I hinted last time that my journey to a frozen land, and now I've been invited to a creepy old mansion that I heard might be haunted. Anyone who knows me knows I can't resist a good scare. Where my many adventures will lead us, I cannot yet say for sure, but I'll certainly be the first to let you all know. Okay, so we're gonna break this down little bit by little bit. I'm so excited about Marching Ghast. I'm more excited now than I was the first time I read this article because the videos weren't working the first time I read the article. So this was my first time seeing them, and I didn't realize that they were actually gonna show us in-game footage, which is just so cool. So let's start from the top and go all the way down. So first, just the level of detail already in like some of these like pictures that they're showing us. I know they said that the like little details like the shrubs and stuff haven't been put in place yet, or they're kind of in progress, but the structures themselves are incredible. This looks like it just came out of the 1800s. I'm so excited. It looks gothic. It looks like mysterious. It looks so good, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited there's going to be a home stable here, and now that it is free to move to home stables, this could be a really cool one to have, at least for a little while, or if you want to change it up throughout the year. I'm really excited to see what type of gameplay they will be adding to the area, to see if there's enough to kind of like make it like your starting place for your like daily activities. It does seem like we're going to be getting quests to kind of like explore what's going on, why they're kind of stuck in time, why Golden Hills Forest is stuck in Eternal Autumn. I don't know if you remember at the very, very beginning of the game, before you unlock Golden Hills, they explain that the gate to Golden Hills has been locked all winter long to keep the ghosts from getting out. And I did recently confirm that dialogue is actually still in the game. It is still confirmed as part of the game. So I'm wondering if that will somehow be explained, or if we'll just kind of get the vibe from the spooky forest. I don't know, but very interesting to say the least, the lore of Golden Hills. So yes, it also looks like we are getting a full comprehensive hub the size of a town, which they did say in the last blog post that this was essentially the size of a town. And then it looks like we are getting a smaller hub, so a small town in the forest as well. So it's a town and a half basically that they're adding to the game, which is crazy. And it looks so good from what we've seen. The audio, incredible, impeccable. Star Stable has been knocking it out of the park with their audio setup lately. Between Devil's Gap, Hollow Woods, and the Halloween quests. Honestly, just massive kudos to the music team. It's just chef's kiss. It's stunning. It just, I get the feeling. I really, really do. Kind of a weird thing that I'm actually like strangely excited for. The trees that they're showing for both the forest and the area outside of Marching Ghast are different than the types of trees that we've had before. These ones specifically have oak leaves, where a lot of the other red and orange trees in Star Stable have maple leaves. So I know it's like silly, but I don't know why. I like the way that oak leaves look. But it's just so cool to have tree variety in Star Stable. And like obviously we've had birch trees before as well. And there's like a couple of different types of trees spread around, but mostly in golden leaves, it's a lot of maple leaves. So very excited to see oak leaves. I know it's really silly for me to point out, but it's just the level of detail that they're putting into this area, that they decided, oh, a different type of tree would be here. Let's make a new tree. Is just, I love this team. I'm so excited for what they're doing. I'm trying to pause the videos on where we can get an idea of what these hubs are going to look like. In the Marchenghasts Castle portion, it does look like this is going to be a big area. It seems like it could be like Silverglade Village size, maybe like the main section of Silverglade Village with like a couple of the houses. Obviously, this is all just speculation. I only have the screenshot that I'm sharing with you now. But with home stable, trailer transport, and I already see a couple of shops, could be pretty promising. I'm also really interested to see what kind of clothing and tack and stuff will be sold in these shops. I'm assuming it's going to be like a little bit more 1800s feeling, which means more Renaissance tops, which I'm very excited about because I love that top style. And like, at one in every color, please. For the forest area, there's not really a good view of what this hub is going to look like. I think it looks maybe like here could be it. I don't know if that's just more like tree foliage. or possibly kind of like in this area with the purple lights. It's really hard to tell. And I mean, it makes sense. They're trying to be really secretive specifically about this forest. So no solid idea of what that hub is going to look like yet. We just know that it's going to be a bit smaller than the one in the Marchenghaст hub area. All in all, I'm just so excited about Marchenghaст. It looks really, really well done. If they're kind of like putting on like the little details, like, I don't want to say they're finishing touches. They may be finishing touches, but they just don't want to say they're finishing touches. They're putting in these smaller details that fill out the scenery, I'll say. We don't know where they are in the narrative part of the release of Marchenghaст, just like the physical structure. So from the first blog post, they mentioned that this may be a February release, and Stacy did not say that that was not currently doable or that it might need to be pushed out. There was really no discussion on the timeline for this project in this blog post, so I think it's safe to say that February may still be on the table. Honestly, it looks so good that I believe that, but no official confirmation or release date for this area, just possibly maybe February. And of course, she couldn't end this article without giving us another hint of things to possibly come after Marchenghaст. Last time she ended the article with a little teaser that we may be getting a Dino Valley update or an Ashland release at some point in the future. Not specifically, that's the community's interpretation. Basically, she just mentioned going to a frozen land, which that is the permanent frozen land of the game. Unless you count the Winter Village, but that's not really a frozen land. It's like a snowy, mystical, magical landscape. And this time she's hinted that she's been invited to a creepy old mansion that I heard might be haunted. Now, there's 2 mansions in Star Stable lore that I could think of. The first was Marchenghast Castle, which we already know is coming. The second one is Pine Hill Manor. Now, not confirmed, obviously not confirmed. She hasn't said anything. We have no idea if this will be coming eventually or at any point whatsoever. It could be a completely different haunted mansion that we don't know about yet. That's just the first thing that popped up in my head. Obviously no confirmation, but maybe? Who's to say? Well, anyways, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video like this. I do try to cover every Wednesday update and more. Let me know what you thought about this blog post. What has you excited about Marchenghaст? What do you think this old mansion might be? And I will see you all in the next video. Bye!